All right, I'm adding some cooked ground beef to the bottom of this grease baking dish. I did cook this ground beef with some garlic powder and onion powder. I'm gonna take 8 eggs, place those right here. I'm gonna do about a cup of heavy whipping cream. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. That looks good. Do a little bit of sea salt, just a little bit, some pepper. All right. And now I'm gonna add, as I said before in other videos, I hate making bacon, so I'm gonna add these bacon pieces that I bought. Just gonna dump the whole bag in here. Give everything a good whisk. Making this awesome low-carb cheeseburger casserole. All right, that looks good. And pour this over the ground beef. You don't got to get it all over. It'll spread out while it's cooking. Now, of course, what else do you need in cheeseburger casserole? Cheese. I have this Velveeta, which is one of my favorites. I know it's not real cheese, but I absolutely love this stuff. Melts really nicely too. So I'm just gonna take that, place that on the top like this. Now this will all kind of melt and spread out a little bit. Take this last piece here. I absolutely love cheeseburgers. It's one of my favorite fast food things to eat. So I figure instead of going to get fast food, I'll just make this casserole. All right. Now one of the last things I like to do is add these pickle slices. I know you're thinking everybody puts pickles on after the burger's already made, but I like them warm. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and do a nice couple on top of these cheese slices here. And these are hamburger dill chips. So, I mean, it's got it in the name, so it's gotta be good, right? Not gonna do too many, but do want a little crunchy bite. Every little piece, and you feel free to put these on after too if you like. I just like them baked with the dish, so. All right, now I'm gonna take this, bake it on 350 for about 30 to 35 minutes. All right, I just took our low-carb cheeseburger casserole out of the oven. Now I have one final step before I try it. Add, of course, need ketchup. Gonna do a nice right on top. Oh, I love the smell of these pickles on here. It'll be so cheesy. Look at how good that looks. All right, I'm adding a box of this garden rotini to this bowl. I did cook this. Add a little bit of olive oil, some salt and pepper. Now I'm gonna add a jar of marinara sauce. You could use whatever kind you like. I was just at Trader Joe's, so I picked up this one. I've had it before, really good. It's a roasted garlic sauce. All right. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of cheese. I shredded my own mozzarella. Does anybody know why it gets so clumpy? I mean, you could tell I shredded that piece, obviously, in my shredder, but this cheese just gets so clumpy when you shred it. It doesn't look nice, but it works. A little bit of cheese in here. I'm getting about a half cup of diced pepperoni. All right, now I'm gonna give this all a good mix, making a combination of one of my favorites. I think you've seen in some of my pictures before that I posted, I absolutely love pizza. Pepperoni pizza is my favorite. I love Italian food, I love pasta. So now, take this, take a greased baking dish, and I'm just gonna dump this in without making a mess. Oh, I lost one. Get all these pepperonis out. All right. Spread this a little bit. Don't worry about that cheese there, it'll melt. Already smells good. I could probably eat this just like this right now. Got a few more steps. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add more cheese. I wish this looked a little bit nicer. I know it'll melt, but still. Almost makes me want to go back to using the bag cheese, but kind of like shredding my own cheese, you know? All right. Also gonna add a little bit of Parmesan. Then on top, looks good. A little bit more. I like how Parmesan, when it bakes, it gets kind of crusty too. All right. Now I'm gonna add some sliced pepperoni. And I put in some diced in there, but gotta make it look pretty, right? Almost look like a pepperoni pizza. I know if you've seen one of my videos before, I did those pepperoni pizza sliders. I'm gonna see how many dishes I could do with pepperoni pizza besides making an actual pepperoni pizza. Again, you could even eat this like this now. I mean, that's what's great about this dish. It takes literally no time. All you have to do is make the pasta. Okay. Now I'm gonna add some Italian seasoning. As you can see, the shaker part came off, so I'm trying not to just dump a ton on there. All right, that looks good. Garlic powder. Don't need to add too much because the sauce I had is already a roasted garlic sauce, but who doesn't love garlic? And it's really good for you. And I don't know if you know this, it keeps mosquitoes from biting you too, so that helps. Now, to finish it off, add some powdered Parmesan cheese on top. Because why not? Who doesn't put Parmesan cheese on their pasta before they eat it? All right, that looks great. Now I'm gonna take this and just put it in the oven on 350 for about 10 minutes. All right, as you can see, I just took this out of the oven. The cheese melted very nicely. It is still very hot, but I'm extremely hungry, so I'm just gonna dig in. Oh, this smells absolutely incredible. Best of both worlds. Pasta and pizza. I'm gonna make a mess here. Oh. I have some chicken taquitos here. Put that in here. That's fine. Now I have some red enchilada sauce. Drizzle that on top. I think we'll just use a whole can. Great. And I have one lime that I'm going to squeeze over everything. If you have one of those juicers, that'd probably work a little bit better, but I'm just going to do it like that. There's some white chopped onion. Now I made some ground beef ahead of time. Just gonna sprinkle that on top. You guys don't have to mix this, just kind of layering everything. Now, one of my favorite ingredients, I have this queso cheese sauce. I love this stuff. Oh, that looks great already. All right. I'm gonna add these green chilies. Gives a nice little spice, little flavor to it. Perfect, that looks great so far. Now you could add whatever kind of beans you want. I'm gonna do these pinto beans. These are my favorite. You could also do black beans. I'm not gonna use this whole bag. I'm just gonna sprinkle some on top. Looks great. And of course, you gotta add some more cheese. I'm gonna do this Fiesta blend. Yeah, we're gonna do all that. The more cheese, the better. Okay, now we're gonna add one of my favorites. I bought the hot one, this Pico de Gallo. Sprinkle that on top. Gotta have your vegetables in here. This gives it a nice little spice with those green chilies. I think that looks good. Now with final steps, I'm gonna take cilantro. Now I know a lot of people don't like this, so you definitely don't have to add this if you don't want to. I really like cilantro, especially with this dish. And just take some, sprinkle it on the top. Perfect. All right, now you're gonna take this, bake it on 350 for 20 minutes. All right, I just took our taquito taco bake out of the oven. Serve myself some. Try and get a taquito. Oh, I like the end piece. The cheese is kind of crispy at the end. Look how good that looks. Kind of looks like a hot dog. All right. I'm gonna take some sour cream. Some on top. I'm gonna take a bite. All right, guys, as you can see, I'm adding a bag of these beef Little Smokies. These are some of my favorite. I absolutely love hot dogs. And these are a mini version of hot dogs. Well, I'm really excited about this, guys. It's almost football season. It's my favorite time of the year, so I'm gonna be doing some football food. I always have people over to watch the Bears, and it's always nice to have little appetizers like this, you know, for everybody to snack on, especially since I'm hosting. So next, I'm gonna do 2 cans of this Hormel chili Angus, no beans. I don't really like beans, and let's face it, you don't want a bunch of guys sitting around watching football, eating a bunch of beans. Nobody's gonna be happy with that. All right. This is a very, very easy dish. Something easy to prepare the day of game day. I don't know if you guys have people over, you make an assortment of stuff. I always have chips. You know, we'll order pizza sometimes, but if I'm hosting, I always like to make a couple of these, you know, appetizers. Just something so people have to snack on. Okay. Now I'm gonna take a jar of cheese dip. I'm just gonna pour it right down the middle. So what I'm doing is basically this kind of like chili cheese dog bake. It's one of my favorite. Instead of doing individual chili cheese dogs for everybody and everybody being able to make a mess, I just like doing it this way. It's simpler. Eat it out of a bowl, and again, a bunch of guys sitting around watching football. Last thing I want is make a mess everywhere. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give this all a mix. Absolutely love this dish. So easy to do. Everybody absolutely loves it. And again, football season. I mean, who doesn't love chili dogs? Don't need to mix it that great because you are going to mix it again after everything bakes. Just kind of incorporating the chili and the cheese. This already smells really, really good. Okay. Grand's butter biscuits, regular biscuits. Awesome. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them right there for a second. Now, you could do this a couple different ways. You could cut them up. I kind of like to put them just like that. It's gonna give everybody kind of their own serving, if that makes sense. So they get a little biscuit. So now you have your bread. So now the chili cheese dog really takes place right now. What do they call it? A deconstructed something? So I'm doing a deconstructed chili cheese dog. I know a lot of people add onions. I'm gonna have onions on the side for anybody who wants, but honestly, I really don't like onions, so I'm just gonna do this. All right. That looks absolutely fantastic. Now, of course, you need some more cheese. Just dump that on top. Spread that all over. Oh, this is gonna be so good. Everybody loves this. That's why they always choose to come to my house. Now I'm gonna take some chives that I cut up earlier. So kind of is adding a little bit of that onion flavor without the chunky white onions that I don't like. Looks awesome. Now, considering almost everything in here is pretty much baked except for the biscuits, you're just gonna follow the instructions on the biscuit container. So I'm gonna put this in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. All right, guys, I just took this out of the oven a couple minutes ago. It's probably still very hot. As you can see, the biscuits bubbled up very nicely. The cheese is melted. This is one of my favorite football appetizer dishes. Like I said, what's nice is everybody kind of gets their own little serving. Oh, doesn't that look good? Some of these little smokies, chili cheese, put that on top. I just love these little smokies. Oh, this is gonna be good. Now, how I like to finish this is add a little bit of sour cream on top, because it is kind of like chili.